So again, I've made this spreadsheet to look very much like 95. I did some stylistic things while we were offline. I put a border under here, centered some things. I did want to say that the difference between my calculations on 9 and Dr. Mesa's on 95 is that he used, for these, rather than using the pi function, he went ahead and used 3.14159, and so that's how ours are different. But again, I've cleaned everything up to look pretty much like he's got it on 95. Now, one thing we're going to talk about in VBA is some things with respect to variables and how to use that pi function, because that pi function was really nice in the spreadsheet, but we didn't have that available. We weren't using that in our VBA editor. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to our VBA editor and show you what I'm talking about. Notice here we had to type in 3.141592, and that was a little bit tedious. So what I want to do in the next video is go through Eric's 96 and talk about how these things progress. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out the function as we had it, or the function area of circle as we wrote it here, and I'm going to go ahead and type in what he's calling evolution 1. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me hit another. I'm going to do some spacing up here too, just to make things a little easier to see. Evolution 1. And let's type in what he says. It is important to force real numbers of integer calculations. Parenthesis or exclamation mark. What does 4 divided by 3 equal? In integer math, it is 1. In real math, it's 1.333 repeating. And because of the resolution of my screen, I can't get as far out. Don't let a computer assume anything. If you type 2.0, then VBA changes to 2 with the number sign. And this is a real number. Always specify exactly what you mean. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this area of circle up here and type and paste it down here. So what we're going to do is do exactly as he said. If we would have typed a 2.0 and I hit return, look what happens. The 2 numeral sign comes in. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to type in the evolution 2. You can see that there on your page 96. But basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to get access to the pi number from the Excel worksheet, because that's really nice. That's much easier than typing 3.14159. So how we do that is we type in application.worksheet, and notice how stuff starts coming up for me, worksheet function, and so you can go ahead and click that and do .pi, and so it recognizes that the pi is there, and so that's great. And so now let's end our function, and that's one way we could have made our life easier. And again, because of the resolution of my screen, some of this stuff starts going over to the right hand side. The final thing that Dr. Mace does, the evolution there 3, says, well, this is kind of nice, but it's kind of cumbersome. Again, this application worksheet function.py, it's kind of cumbersome in my equation. So let's go ahead and dimension SPI, which we're calling our, we're going to call that a variable that we're going to store the value of pi in. And then below my dimension, I'm going to go ahead and say S. And the reason we need to dimension SPI here is that we're not dimensioning it up in my function because it's not something that goes in or out of my function, but it's something that remains in it, so we still have to go ahead and define that. And so here we're going to go ahead and say application.worksheet function, and notice all this stuff comes up because it knows that we like to use things from our worksheet, our spreadsheet a lot, and so this is something that's going to be very helpful to us. And so now all we do here in my equation is just type in area of circle equals SPI, which is that variable we define that's going to be internal to my function, and we just go through and everything looks great. To just check, what we need to do is let's go back to my spreadsheet and let's try a 5.0, and notice that it automatically figured out the area of the circle. And so because it assumed that we were going to do the same that we were going to before. And so we can calculate my error with that, and you can see all looks really great. So what we've done with this set of videos is work through how to do Visual Basic, how to set up functions, how to insert a module so we can start doing some programming. We also talked about how to call that function from my Excel spreadsheet. So again, all of this example is on page 94 to 96. You can continue on in this vein. Dr. Mace has several different more functions and how to call functions when you've got sets of variables you want to send in or out and how to do that. So you might go ahead and work through those examples on 97 and on. So with that, we're going to end this set of videos.